demon all here, and probably one that I'm forgetting about because there's a lot of them.
Amaryllis.
Amaryllis, that's
Amaryllis
true.
is
I was
also
forgetting
here.
about one.
Yeah, I was like, there is one more. Who is it? It's one of the...
Oh, and we've got the Georgia, the peanut gallery right behind Brian, giving him a little bit of support. I saw Josso on camera just like right behind him.
And by the way, that Georgia roster is rather stacked, even without Cola as a part of the roster, because he did decide to drop out of the crew. You're still talking about Fatality, Mugen, Teaser, Josso, and who you're watching right now, Omega, the Joker Extraordinaire.
But Joker Extraordinaire just getting looped a little bit by Palutena. That's kind of the price you have to pay playing against this character at low percent. You got to eat those Nair loops. But Joker can stomach that a little bit better than most. He's not going to stomach that one, though, as the Ledge Trump Dare does its job, and one stock already gone from Georgia.
That was really good read on the Ledge Trump DI in particular as well, because I believe if you DI into the stage, you're a little bit more at risk of taking something like a back air or something. But if you're DIing out kind of afraid of that, then you do eat that down air, and that was a great call out by Quinn. But another call out in return, a tit for a tat. Omega getting Georgia back on the board.
An eye for an eye is his favorite thing to do. Gets Arsene back immediately, and that's what I was about to talk about before Quinn got that initial down air to take out Omega's first stock. Is Joker can like stomach taking those Nair loops a bit better than most at low percent, because all you're doing is giving him his first Arsene pretty much for free, and Omega's made great use of this one here.
Ooh, and there's that down air backer. Yeah, you're talking about it. The use of Arsene is so key. Last time we saw the Joker, right, it was just kind of getting, you know, taken out before the Arsene was too much of a factor, but Omega has always been one of those people that really maximizes that usage.
Sent high by the Explosive Flame, able to get back up on stage and get shield out just in time before the up smash connects.
I love that rising down air, too, to land on stage quickly.
Ooh,
and
Omega drag down, baby.
Yeah, you were talking about it, the drag down king. In the building right now, Quinn on last stock. Both of these players doing a phenomenal job as the leads for their team, and particularly if Quinn can at least take those 2 stocks, he has done his job for the most part. But, you know, being California, going up against one of the favorites to win this whole darn thing, you're going to need a little bit more than just doing your job.
And that's a second Arsene for Omega as well on this stock. Brian going to try and make perfect use of it here. Has the opportunity to ledge trap. Keeps catching Quinn every time he tries to get up. Oh, I did not. That was scary.
Ooh.
And he does.
Is just enough to do it.
Look at Quinn's face.
No fanfare. He's like, that
killed? I believe what happened, I don't know if Quinn is a tilt stick user, but if he's not, he might have been pushing up A for the up tilt and gotten like that for the... Look at his face!
That's... Oh, no!
Oh, my God!
Oh, my God! Hey, look, he's standing up the fist bump, and he's still not over it. He's just, like, in shock, like, game. Dude, you gotta close that mouth. A mosquito could fly in there.
Either way,
he's a human Venus flytrap.
6-8, Georgia in the lead, and they're sending in another Palutena. I see Chase sitting down at the setup, so again, Palu versus Georgia, or Palu versus Brian more specifically. We'll see if Omega can take out 2 for 1.
And what is steal, by the way, for Georgia, right? Being able to, it looked like that was just going to be 1 stock to 1 stock there at the end. You were going to see Quinn take 2 and Omega take 3, but that one just out of nowhere. Off the top. And again, like no kill screen or anything, it's just game. So yeah, Chase has had some amazing results recently. Pretty dominantly won the National Arcadian at main stage back in December, as well as getting top 16 in the main bracket. I mean, I thought that you were supposed to be unranked, but here you are. Like.
That was the funniest part of the Arcadian, in my opinion, because it was all the unranked players, and then I believe like 3 of the top 8 in the Arcadian all made like top 16. Desmona made top 8.
Desmona got like, I think 3rd, and he was in top 8 of the actual bracket. Yeah. And you know, Chase did amazing. Enhanced PV had a really good run at that tournament as well. But
we'll see if Chase can do what Quinn could not and live a Joker up smash.
Going to be necessary, to say the least.
So on Kalos too, an interesting counterpick. That will absolutely help.
You will have a bit of a tougher time, like, contesting Joker immediately in the center of the stage, as The crowd counts us down and we get going. Not quite as loud as Philly was, I have to say.
I think with Philly out of the bracket, the crowd went down by about 10 decibels.
both of these regions are a little bit further from New York City. I get it, but that was
SoCal's pretty much as far as you can get from New York City.
Yeah, more or less. Where's the Hawaii crew? Void and Chuck Nasty?
Put Small Left in there too. I would bet on that crew.
Honestly, we could do better than a couple of ones we saw today. But we are not talking about that. We're talking about SoCal versus Georgia. I mean, California versus Georgia, but it's mostly loaded up with SoCal.
I think it is just a SoCal crew, actually.
Yeah, and Chase is trying to carry that to get them back into this one.
Footstool gun.
And just Omega's combo game is so good. That was ballsy by Chase.
And he didn't get punished that hard for it, Omega. He stood there, charged that brazenly, and all he took was like the last hit of Nair for it.
Just a boom.
Slap on the wrist.
All right, don't do that again, yo whippersnapper. Oh, great spacing by Omega. I love him drifting all the way out of the range of that full drift aerial from Palutena, but does get knocked back into the corner, and this is where Chase really shines as a player.
Spacing so good around all these options that Omega's throwing. You know he really wants that drag down fair one, finds it, but isn't quite ready for the follow-up. Didn't expect Chase to tumble the way he did, so didn't land in time for like the F smash or the down smash.
Oh, high recovery by Omega. Works out, but only for a moment. Chase does read the movement off the platform, and he is the first to take a stock in this game. Omega down to his last, and, you know, again, as Chase, that is a good place to be in, but you have to probably almost say, I need him to be at least like a quarter of the way through the Arsene by the time that my stock is gone.
For the second time, too, Omega's footstool's on point. Doesn't really get anything off of it this time around, though. Those have to be intentional.
This is a big moment for Chase right here. You've got to burn as much of this Arsene as possible. Hey, I'm talking about burning Arsene. He might take the whole
with
stock.
One Nair.
There's that dash attack, though. Omega making up that space. Chase off stage, and he's just going to go tumbling on down. There's that DI in to avoid any combos from Omega, and the Arsene is gone. So Chase messing up the recovery right there. Not the worst time to do it at 150, but you never want to see it, especially when it looked like he could have just evened up the entire battle.
He might have been able to take this stock away from Omega without losing that one of his own, but now that is a bygone moot point, really, because he's not going to be able to take that stock without losing his anymore.
Yeah, he is going to have to, I mean, take this one from Omega without giving him Arsene this second time, right? Because that would be pretty devastating to go up against. And again, given the amount of work we've seen Omega put in with that Arsene, that could be a death knell for California.
Right, especially if he's able to Rebels guard anything in these upcoming moments. Gets the grab, the back throw is going to set him up for a ledge trap, and Chase's ledge traps have been phenomenal throughout this first game.
We see him surrendering center stage to Omega right there, but he's off stage. That Arsene is looming.
Drag down the up smash, but he's able to live. That's Kalos coming in clutch, and he's able to kill right off of it too.
Wow.
Kalos proving to be the absolutely perfect counter pick by Chase going into that game.
Worked out perfectly. California only down by one stock now, and it really did just come down to the counter pick.
It was a crazy read, too, from Omega to get that roll-in up smash, but just wasn't quite enough.
We'll see some of the highlights right here. I mean, this was that first stock, right? Omega getting a little bit cheeky with that recovery, and it did work out, but Chase went, okay, you went for a risky move. Now you're immediately going to try to get back on stage, and he had the punish. And then, of course, Omega getting his first stock off of Chase, just beefing the recovery a little bit.
Brian definitely paying a little bit for him getting that kill on Quinn the first time around. We went from that kill to that didn't kill. And a little bit karmic retribution, really.
Retribution, indeed. Yeah, there's Chase.
Looks like, so I'm wondering who Georgia's counter pick here is going to be. They have Fatality, they have Jaws. It looks like Jaws is sitting down, okay.
And that makes a lot of sense.
You see the peanut gallery sitting right behind the main chair as Brian goes to join them. You got Teaser, Mugen, and Fatality waiting in the wings.
Whenever Teaser's not playing a game, it seems like he is always about to tell a joke. Like he's thinking of one and he's like, this is going to be really funny. It's going to be really funny when I get the chance to drop this one. Yeah, he's doing the... He's eating a lemon.
Either way, though, Jazzo coming in as the counter pick, and I actually think Jazzo beat Chase last night in the little pop-up bracket we ran. I can't remember for sure. I know Winners Finals was Jazzo Lima, and then Grands was Jazzo Goblin, in which Jazzo won. I'm not sure if Jazzo fought Chase, but I think they were playing just like friendlies if they didn't play in bracket.
At the very least. And this can be a very frustrating matchup on either side, but going up against Jazzo as a Palu player, right, it's going to be a lot harder to open him up because, I mean, Chase does like to take an active stance in the games. And yeah, opening up a character like the Shotos, right, where you can kind of outrange them most of the time, you want to be relying on the forward air and the back air as Palu, but focus can be a big problem. Juggling, Palu doesn't have to worry about that as much with the nair and with the up air, but yeah, when it comes to opening up those characters, that can be a really big thorn in their side.
I also think she is definitely going to have a little bit of trouble getting off the ledge just because Ken has so much priority there with both like up tilt and down tilt. And if Chase decides to do like, let's say, a drop down teleport to center stage, Ken is fast enough that he can just get right back in your face and it's like nothing ever happened.
Mm-hmm. And Jazzo is somebody who plays Ken like what Ken is, and that is a fast character. Ken is really good at getting up in your face, and you're going to see Jazzo holding forward with this character. Not to say that he's not good at spacing, but he loves to take control of the pace of the game.
He's not afraid to sit back, though, as you see him doing right now against Chase until he gets his opportunity. And then you take 45 for one mistake.
And that's on the low end of what I expect from Jazzo, right? He's the kind of guy that, you know, post those clips that you see on Twitter and you're like, oh, yeah, another
he was
Ken
fishing
combo.
for clips.
Ken can do, yeah. Like,
no,
Ken can just do that. But Jazzo is one of the guys especially that can do that.
He does that in Winners Finals of brackets. 60% on him already, though. Great start from Chase as he's looking for this ledge trap of his own. We were talking about how good Ken's ledge trapping was. Woo! He's alive.
Wow, he's able to make that back.
goodness.
And that's one of those weird moments where you have to hold down on that down air because you'll actually get out of the hit stun faster, and then you can make it back. Because if you try to like hold up or out or something, you probably get blast zoned up PS2.
You get blast zoned that time, though, for
I was
sure.
talking about the bottom, but you get taken off the top anyway. Jazzo continuing George's tear through this bracket.
That's the thing. Everybody, when talking about Shoryu as great back air to connect to take that stock away, put Georgia down at 5. Everybody always talks about Shoryu like, oh, you shouldn't kill that early. You just have to DI. You have to DI up and no. Down and away is the correct DI. Down and away doesn't save you at that percent.
We had a player in our region who was notorious for making like the worst Johns you've ever heard. And after losing to a Smash 4 Ryu, he said, that shouldn't be a kill move in this game because it's not a kill move in Street Fighter. Which is about the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Sakurai messed up with this one.
He really messed up. That's not a kill move in Street Fighter.
Sakurai, fake fan.
The
Sakurai didn't even
head-ass
play
thing I've
Street
ever
Fighter.
heard in my entire life. But Jazzo not thinking about that right now. In fact, if anything, he's thinking about how to get that Shoryu
Honestly,
to take that
a raw
stock.
John. No, I'm with him on this one.
He is the same guy that I played DBFZ against, and I just spammed level 1 Goku Super and beat him. And he was like, why do you keep doing that? That's so bad. My brother in Christ, you're
You
the
got
one getting
hit by
hit by
it.
the Kamehameha.
Kamiyamama. And that's it.
And who is dead? Yo mama. That is Jazzo playing excellently once again, putting California down to their final player, and it may very well be T3 Dom.
Yeah, I'm wondering who they are going to send in as their anchor. Because I feel like Dom is a phenomenal player, but as an anchor in a crew battle, with five stocks against him, I feel like I can gimp Richter 3 times in 5 stocks.
And look, I think that that is a phenomenal counter pick against Jazzo, and he very well could come out of that with 3 stocks. But you're coming out of that in a 3-stock versus 3-stock game, theoretically.
And then they send in like Teaser or Mugen.
Against a team that gets to pick their matchup against a notoriously counter-pickable character.
Right. And that's even saying that Dom 3 stocks Jazzo, or 2 stocks rather.
If that happens, yeah.
Dom would have to beat Jazzo 2 stocks to 3. And saying that like Jazzo's going to go in that without taking a single stock, that's a risk.
Did they play at Summit 4?
No, they were in separate pools.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think they fought out, but I see a NASA shirt, and so I'm pretty sure that's Dom.
That is definitely Dom.
It has to be Dom.
He is well known for it. That's a new one too. I have not seen that one before.
Gotta make sure you always have a new NASA shirt.
You gotta have the new drip.
Keep them guessing.
The new drip. That one looks like a bowling shirt. He's like on NASA's bowling team.
I need to see the full camera angle of it.
I want to get the full
analysis.
You guys can't see it, but you will
soon.
You will be shocked by the bowling alley drip.
He doesn't even work there.
He's walked straight off the set of The Big Lebowski.
Let's see Dom. Devin, if you would please.
Dom does kind of look like a movie star too.
He's got He's got
the presence.
He's got the Giga Chad beard too.
He does have it. Look at that shirt.
It's like the 3/4 sleeves because it doesn't look like
he's got the sleeves rolled up, which is what every Giga Chad does.
True.
Gentlemen, I will advise you, roll up your sleeves every once in a while. It's a good look.
White does it, and it works for him.
He rolls them all the way up. He goes up to the shoulders, and you know what? He's allowed to do that.
But Dom's got to deal with Jazzo. Ken is certainly not an easy an opponent that you can confidently go in and say, I will win this without losing a stock. It doesn't matter how strong you are at zoning, how great your spacing is, how great your ledge trapping is, all of which Dom is phenomenal at, Richter is phenomenal at, but if he gets in once, there's a decent chance your stock's going away.
We're calling Dom a dork now? Just said CS3 dork, T3 Dom.
That's it. He's the one who put that on his Smash GG.
And there it is. T3 dork going up against Jazzo right now, I guess.
See how he does. Smashville is our venue, and I like this counter pick a lot. Less space for Jazzo to run away, because think Holy Cross going to cover the entire thing.
This is a stage where a lot of people initially they would think, oh, Richter on this stage, like, oh god, like you're going to be able to rush him down. It's so terrible. But think about this:
his whip covers the whole thing.
It's the same thing with Min Min on this stage, right? It's that as long as they're not in disadvantage, you're not in advantage.
Like 65% already on Jazzo too, and we're seeing it. Jazzo has nowhere to run. He can't find good footing.
Take this!
Anywhere on the stage that he tries to stand, he's within range of Dom's whip.
Oh my goodness, and Dom barely missing the spacing of the Holy Water on the ledge, but this is that feast or famine stage.
You know what? Good point, chat. This is Hazmat the matchup.
Oh, yeah, a couple of good men. Where is Matt when you need him?
He's supposed to be here this weekend. I don't know if he's in yet. I think he's flying in today.
He would love this. God rest his soul.
He's flying spirit.
Rip Hazmat.
188 on Jazzo, still holding on to the stock. Might not be able to make this back, though.
I don't know if I've seen Dom struggle to take a stock like this before. Because normally I think of him as a guy that just has so many setups, but Jazzo playing maneuverable. Dom does take that first one, and look, as long as that one got dragged out, he only got opened up one time. And this is what I'm saying about this matchup, man, is it is tough.
Very, very tough matchup, and we weren't downplaying that in the slightest, but to see, and that's what.
Okay, yeah, you got it.
I was about to give the consolation of Jazzo has to open him up to get those kills, and then he killed him at 30 off of one opening.
Yeah, then he did it. And then he did it. So to his credit, oh, that was a big whip slap. And at 80%, man, Jazzo very, very close to losing this stock if Dom can get a clean confirm off of that Holy Water.
I don't know, though. We literally saw his last stock. He lived to 190.
That's more of an outlier, if anything, and has to burn the double jump early, does get the Shoryu to the ledge. But this is the key thing. Jazzo does know how to deal with the Belmont sequences, and this is what we know Jazzo for. Hold on a second.
Now it's his turn to ledge trap. Dom barely manages to air dodge through, but he goes low, and now he has to find a way back up on stage with Jazzo waiting for him.
Is he
That's
dead?
going to be up tilt. Sure, you know. Richter's a little bit heavier than you might expect. Got a lot of demon fighting equipment, but it's not enough to keep him out of the second one. And just like that, Jazzo does it. He puts Dom on his last stock. The only condition here was don't get 3-stocked, and Jazzo has done that and more.
Yeah, he has pretty much given Georgia a guaranteed win. Nothing guaranteed against Dom, but this is going to be a very, very difficult comeback to make for one of SoCal's finest. He does take this. No, not yet. Smashville has the tall ceiling.
199, 208. Maybe it wasn't the outlier, Kimona. Maybe we need to redo the stats.
Hey, nobody get it. 221, 221, 230, and 230. Sold to the man with the 230. Dom finally able to take it, but he did 4 stocks worth of damage to take 2 stocks.
He literally, in the course of 2 stocks, you see first stock, when did this end? What was after the hit for the first stock?
It was
203.
Plus 200.
So
yeah, there
203
it is.
and then 237. He literally did 440% to Jazzo over the course of 2 stocks.
I could KO 3 DDDs at that percent. That's a heavy character if you're not familiar.
Unfortunate for T3 Dom.
Yeah.
Now he has one stock left, and it looks like...
And he's getting counterpicked.
We're sending in Griffin Miller.
AKA
one and only.
Fatality.
See how he can do here, as you said it yourself. It's all but over. It's not over.
It's not over.
Dom could go crazy here.
Look,
it's entirely possible.
Richter against Falcon, there is a chance. There is a very real scenario in which Fatality just cannot get close to Richter. Now, we are talking about Fatality, who is famous for getting up close to people with proficiency.
And hurting them a lot.
Even in real life, if you
Whoa,
piss him off.
Whoa, whoa.
He's like got a black belt in like 3 different martial arts.
I have a suspicion. My sneaking suspicion is that he's actually a vigilante in Atlanta.
I would believe it. Dude, I would believe it. What was like, Wadi like asked him one time, he was like, do you think I can beat you in a fight? And he was like, Fatality was like, what martial art? Like jiu-jitsu, karate, like capoeira or whatever? I don't think he does capoeira, but like, this guy, he is a fighter through and through.
I think Wadi would be actually very good in a fight. Just like off the top of my head.
He was in the military, dude.
Like, Wadi was in the military, and I don't think I would bet on anybody against Wadi.
No, but even Wadi, like when Fatality said that, he was like, nah.
Never
mind. He was like, no.
No,
I'm scared of this guy.
Among Us.
Among Us. Is that Among Us Blaster?
Is that Among Us with the trans flag?
Oh, that's the best.
Shoutouts to Trans Rights Among Us. Gotta be one of my favorite genders.
One of the sentences I've heard all year.
The year's just getting started.
It is just getting started. And it is one of them. You know, there's a certain point in the year where you can't remember every sentence you've heard.
But I'm going to remember Trans Rights
I'm going to remember
Us.
that one. But here we go. 3 stocks for Furia Zone Fatality going up against Dom's final stock. And Fatality has the counter pick. He took Dom to PS2, where it is incredibly hard for Richter to maintain those crazy advantages that can snowball into him getting a 3-stock victory. And in essentiality, that's what T3 Dom is going to have to do.
Second stock gone. We're going to hear the countdown in just a second as the Show Me Your Moves comes out as well, as is practically customary. But T3 Dom letting him know, prepare yourself. This isn't going to be as easy as you might think.
Dude, the moment Fatality landed one nair immediately, I was like, it's not over, is it?
I was starting to say this might not be as easy as you think, and I was about to regret that call.
Dom right here does get off to that percentage lead advantage. He has got to get something crazy on this first stock, though, just for the mentality standpoint, right? You don't want to go into that third stock at 130 against Captain Falcon if you can live that long.
87 on him already, but I'm a little bit worried about Fatality getting Rage here, because I feel like the wrong setup with Rage just means that Dom dies at 40.
Yeah, and look, he's at 40. Oh, no!
What a coincidence.
Oh, he was trying to downward angle a forward air, I think, and instead got the down air. A little bit of a misinput there from Dom. Great catch on the Holy Water from Fatality, but Dom was even ready for that. This does give Fatality a couple of extra options coming off the ledge. He caught it back! It's mine!
My Holy Water, you cannot use it.
Oh, and Dom trying to outrange Fatality immediately. The slide in grab working out. And Georgia down to 2 stocks here. Dom does get one on the board here in the final game.
Wait, is Fatality on the wrong controls? His name is Chase.
That was not Chase's tag, though.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that is the mindset he's going into.
Maybe it's a JoJo reference.
I'll chase you.
Gotta be the worst JoJo opening, I gotta say.
Disagree, but respectfully.
If we have to stall between the next True Battles, I'm gonna ask for your JoJo's opening tier list.
Well, we don't have to. What we have right now, T3 Dom and Fatality, and it has just come to an end. The up smash, Fatality, Georgia's Captain Falcon legend. Who else could it be closing it out for them?
It felt like an inevitability, right? Like, eventually Griffin was going to up smash, and eventually it was going to connect.
I can talk to them by their
Literally
first names.
Everybody calls him Griffin.
That's true. That is true. Many people do. And today they're calling him the champion.
True.
At least for Georgia in this round. They're moving on to, I believe, the semifinals. And
Do you know who they're going to be facing off
That
against?
is against Mexico now. Mexico versus Georgia, definitely one of the most hotly anticipated ones. And meanwhile, on the other side, a Midwest showdown of Ohio versus Chicago.
Not the two crews that I would have expected in semifinals.
None of us, really. Neither of them were seeded, indeed,
I think
to
both
make
of
it
them were
past the
seeded. I think both of them were seeded to lose round one.
Ohio was seeded to beat Philly, which they did.
Okay.
Although they did very narrowly win that. But they were not seeded to beat Florida, which they did. So they did get a couple of really big wins.
And Florida was strong. Florida was like Anathema Jake Goblin.
And that's just their top
That's
three.
just like their top. I think
They're
they
a
had
deep
Gabe on their
region.
team too. Like Florida
Of the
was
epic
strong.
variety?
The most epic of
the
Gabriels.
epic variety. Got it.
So we have also, I would like to point out, no tri-state crews in top 4 of this crew
None
battle.
left.
So we have Mexico, Ohio, Chicago. MDVA lost, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's Georgia. Georgia's our final one in top 4.
Well, out of the